So you've said a few things that I think we have to unpack. Most people would not think that bias could lead to compassion. And I love that that is part of what you walk away with. So could you tell us more, especially in light of everything happening in the country right now? How is it that despite what you know, compassion is rising? And so instead of coming at this with all of the anger that so many people are grappling with, your heart has somehow found a way to expand.
I think coded bias um, grapples in the film with what intelligence actually is, and how a few group of a very elite group of white men sort of define what intelligence is for the rest of us in this field of artificial intelligence. And I think what is so precious about sort of the brilliant and badass cast of the film is not only do they have advanced degrees in sort of science, data science, and mathematics, but they also have empathy. They also have a deep humanity that comes from being in a marginalized community. They were women, they were people of color, they were Jewish. Something in their life, you know, gave them a perspective of sort of seeing something on the margins. And I guess, like, I think the reason that I've come to value bias so much is that I've come to value human flaws a little bit more and sort of question this race towards efficiency and perfection. And I think that what I learned in the making of this film is that we all have biases and we all need each other to see into each other's blind spots, right? And I think that's something that gives us most compassion, because it's not just racist cops that have bias. It's actually you and I. And that's innate. That's something that we all have, is this unconscious bias. It's just a question of how do we question it? How do we unpack it? How do we make sure that it doesn't hurt other people? How do we make sure it's not encoded into the technologies that we're programming and then deployed on people all over the world in ways that intersect with our civil rights? And I think Joy Buolamwini sort of calls, and many of the cast of the film sort of call for this, bringing humanity to technology. And I think in the film, I question what intelligence is without empathy. And I think that in this moment where we are living in some of the worst crises of our time, right? We have the COVID crisis, we have a racial justice crisis, we have like a climate change crisis, and it's all sort of erupting. Um, we're all being asked to drop into this deeper place in our humanity. And it's uncomfortable and it's super painful. And it causes us to hold a mirror to ourselves in the places that we have bias and look at the past in ways that are painful and try to lead with humanity in some way. And if there's anything, I hope that's what people will take away from the film is what we're losing in that race to efficiency, that race to perfection, that race to whatever it is that we think is the answer, and what and how we can start to lead with more humanity.
Mm, thank you. Ah, I love that.